Hey now.
Hey, Tasha, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. We have our new look, right? We
Love
are.
love the background.
Oh, well, thank you. Thought I'd switch it up. Thought we switch it up for everyone and anyone who's watching. You'll see less of the accountability queens, but more of the AQ partners, because truly, that's who we are. We are the AQ partners, right?
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit in 2022,
All right. Everyone's always looking for something new,
right?
fresh. We are new and fresh.
Fresh.
So listen,
Lickety black.
if you're with us tonight, go ahead and drop some hellos in the comments, and we'll give you a shout out. But let's get into it this evening, right?
Let's get into it. The secret to showing up every day.
That's right.
This
Yeah.
was a cool topic for us to talk about because I know that there are perceptions amongst our friend group like, oh, Sharon and Tasha just go hard. Like, y'all just go hard. And that's just really not the truth. And if anyone truly knows me, they know I really am all about balance, right? Like, there's structure, but there's also balance to the structure. Tasha, what would you say about you?
I mean, listen, if I was going to say if there's balance in our relationship, like I'm the heavier person and you're the lighter person.
Okay.
Right? We have to put it that way.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss Nan. How are you?
Hi, Miss Nan. Good to see you.
But listen, I do feel like I go hard sometimes.
Well, you do.
Yeah. So yes, but you do bring some balance to my life, and I appreciate it.
Well, I try. Well, thank you. But no matter what it is, we have to show up every day in whatever it is we're doing if we want to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
And you and I are both about achieving the life that it is that we want to have. And that means you got to show up, and you got to show up every day.
Yeah. I mean, I think this topic is around knowing your why, right? We talk about this in our course a lot, and we start with it, right? When we do coaching, you tell me you want to do something, right?
Right.
Why?
Right.
And we take some time to really dig into the why and go deeper and deeper and deeper because it is what anchors us to our goal, right? And it's what keeps us going. Oh man, I just had this like beautiful analogy in my head about an anchor and a storm, right? Here we go.
Dude. just
Beautiful analogy.
Okay, with the
It
beautiful.
is what anchors you when times get tough, right? When the winds blow, when the monsoon, as you so eloquently put it, of stress around you, right? If you're anchored in why you're doing what you're doing, you're able to continue.
I mean, let's just be honest, and you're absolutely right because that's a conversation you and I just had before we went live, right? Which is, our lives are completely polar. Our lives are polar opposite,
right?
And you are going through great transition in your household. You've got 2 kids who just started school, right? You used to have an au pair, you don't have an au pair. You've got a child with special needs, but then there's a school system. You've got a new job. You've got. So tell me, how is because some people, given that, and listen, before when your day seemed to be more streamlined, most people would say, oh, and you're a student, right? And a wife, right? So most people would say, and I've heard them say, girl, I don't know how you do it. Girl, I'd have to give up. How do you show up every day?
Well, I mean, I don't have a choice but to be efficient, right? And so that's how I can get through the day. But why I show up every day is because, I definitely want my kids to see, and parents will say this all the time, like, but it's real, right? Like, you want your kids to see that you actually can do anything. And I want to create a better life for my family, not intending to work forever, right? It's not really what I want. And so, I show up because there's a plan, right?
Amen to a plan.
Yes, to have a greater life. I want to be able to travel with my kids.
Yeah.
Once all this COVID stuff is over. But when they're studying world history, I want to be able to show them the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so they're in what, pre-K right now. So I just got a couple years to work this plan. So we can be seeing the world when they're studying world history, right? So for me, one of my reasons is for them, right? And I think you'll hear a lot of parents say that.
Yeah.
But then the other reason I think through a lot of self-discovery over the past few years, um, I understand why God put me on this earth.
Okay.
And to honor him and showing up and serving in the capacity, that we do,
Yeah.
um, is the other reason that I show up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Okay.
about you?
Well, I mean, I show up and listen, there's always a master plan, right? But we've talked about, and we talked about it in our course when we do our course, like what motivated me to get out of debt. Because I got tired of someone being able to have the reins over how I worked and how I responded to it, right?
Right.
I had a very, and I'm sharing this story because really it could be anything, right? Tasha has her kids. I had, and many people may have, this sort of moment in time where everything looks like, oh, I don't ever want to be here again, right? Like that was my thing. So I remember sitting in a boss's office and just a really crazy conversation. And he was just about to flip my world upside down due to no fault of my own, but listening to a whole lot of mess, I could say.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could say was, I'm not feeling well. I got to go home. All right. And I had to say that so I didn't say anything that would get me fired.
Right.
But at that point, I said, nah, I'm doing it different. From this point on, we're getting out of debt. So if I need to say deuces, right? I had a mentor who once said to me, you want to get to the point where you work because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah.
So for me, that has been a guiding light as well, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the work arena, we were probably both at the same conference in the same seminar, and the speaker talked about the FU fund, right? That's where you want to get. You want to get to the point where it's the same thing, working because I want to, not because I have to. But
Right.
you've got this fund over here, so you can say, you know what, I'm leaving.
Right. Exactly. And I can't. But I think you also have a great story from your past. Like you were running a business before.
I was, and I had a child with special needs, and I had to make a decision. I mean, it was, man, that colloquial fork in the road, right? Where I had to decide if I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, right? Which is what I eventually did, or if I was going to try and pound the pavement and continue along this path of building my business. And I chose my daughter and to stay at home with her and to be focused on that. I don't think no judgment for either decision, right? It was a personal decision that that I had to make for my family, and it was my decision. My husband was very gracious in allowing me the time to make that decision and telling me that it had to be my decision, because you never want to have that hanging over your head, right? Like he forced me to stay home, or he forced me to pursue this business, and then you have that what's it called, not regret, but resentment. And so yeah, I mean, that was a decision that I made because I knew that I needed to be there for my daughter. And then, after things sort of balanced out, the clouds were lifted and we understood what was going on, then I could make a different decision, right?
Yeah.
And listen, I feel like I'm at that crossroads again, because I said once my kids were in school and I felt like, there was a good rhythm that was going, then maybe we could make a different pivot. And I think we talk about having pivots in life and it being part of the plan, but it is always anchored in the why, right?
So let's just talk about the why. Like, so when we coach people, we talk about knowing your why, because that really guides your decision. Do you want to do the exercise that we do?
Sure.
All right. you can ask me the whys. All right.
Okay.
So what we're about to do is an exercise that we do with our clients to get them to the why. Because sometimes you think you know the why,
Yeah,
but you may not really know the why until you're really pressed. So go ahead.
that's right. And achieving the goal becomes much easier when you really know your why.
Why you're doing it. Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's start with the goal. What is your goal?
I want to be a writer. Yep.
Why do you want to be a writer?
I really like writing.
Why do you like writing?
Well, I like telling stories and I like sharing stories with people.
What does sharing stories do for you? Why do you like sharing stories?
Because I think I have a lot to say.
Hmm. Why do you think you have a lot to say?
Because I've been through a lot.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it important for you to share the things that you've been through?
Well, because I feel like I've had a unique experience that maybe some other people can relate to. And I don't want them to fall in the same traps that I fell into.
Hmm. That's noble. Why don't you want someone else to fall into those traps?
Because it was really difficult for me. And I never thought I could see my way out
Mm-hmm.
of my situation. And because I kept my head on straight, I was able to get myself out of the situation. So I would really want to help people who don't see a way out
Mm-hmm.
find a way out and know that it's possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at how different
Right.
that is from saying I want to be a writer because I like writing, right?
Exactly.
I want to be a writer because I can help people see a way out when there's seemingly no way out, right? And so
Right.
just going through that exercise, and that was just really quick, right? But going through that exercise, and it takes time sometimes. I mean, we've been with clients in 2 weeks, like, go back and write and come back and really dig into it and tell us. And we're asking very deep and probing questions to get them, to the real why.
Right. And have come back with tear soaked, pages because they got to a why that they didn't even know they were going to. But they had a deep in for that particular person, it was a goal they kept picking up, but never really built traction and followed through with. When we really stripped away the layers,
Right.
we really got to something that was very soulful for her, for lack of a better word. And so that's sort of the reason why you've got to get to the why, and that helps you to show up every day, right? I negotiate. Tasha and I talk about this all the time. Like, we have to figure out how we are dealing with something because there's a bigger plan. I can't get messed up, by this sort of stumble or this sort of hurdle because I got to get to the finish line. So the focus on the finish line, the focus on what it is I want to do, you want to do, we want to do. Like, I've been in heavy sort of strategic mode. Right. Absolutely, this week I've been in heavy strategic. Well, the last couple weeks I've been in heavy strategic mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have another example. We talk about losing weight and working out, and people think that we're health freaks sometimes.
Yes.
But for me, I like feeling good.
Yes.
Right. And I like to be able to do things with my kids. I'd like to be able to take a hike if someone invites me on a hike, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to, if someone is chasing me and my life depends on it, that I'm not going to get caught. Okay.
And
I like my jeans.
yes.
I like the jeans that I have and I want to wear them, right? And so
Right.
I'm not getting up and doing this 4 times a week just because I don't like sleeping, because sleeping and eating are 2 of my most favorite pastimes.
Say it. It sure is. But the other thing, and for me, I'll say, I believe health is wealth. I don't care how much money I have. I don't care how much free time I have. If I'm in the hospital, it don't even matter.
That's right.
If I can't walk without a walker or without losing my breath, the fun is gone.
Right.
Right. If If I want to travel, but people can't move as far,
Right.
can't go as far because I can't move, what did I come
You're
for?
not getting invited on the next trip.
Listen, and some folks have not been invited.
Hmm.
Right? I want to be able to enjoy every single thing and every
Right.
single day to the max of what I want to, right? But not be limited by my body. And so I want, as my doctor puts it, my health span to be as long as my lifespan.
For sure.
Stay in good health until it's time to close the eyes for
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So, how do we make sure that this stays at the forefront, right? We talk about these goals and we talk about the why that's connected to them.
Yeah.
How do you keep your eye on that why when times get tough?
Whew, I have an amazing accountability partner and a great family crew, friends and family. And I say my friends and my family because my friends are my family.
Yeah.
So I have an amazing crew of people that surround me that I can, I said I've been strategizing the last 2 weeks that I can kind of throw different ideas at and, hey, tell me what you think. And they've kind of given me different, I have the goals that I've written out with you and we review them. I'm like, yeah, okay, get out your head, get out this moment. This is
Right.
only a moment. It's
Yeah.
only a moment. And also, listen, I'm big on let's meditate. Let's take a moment to breathe. Let's go for a walk. Let's work out. I am definitely into those things to really help me stay focused. What about you?
Yeah, accountability is definitely, the path that I was thinking and where I was going. And the other thing I think is transparency. It's one of the things that I've been working on personally over the past few years.
Yeah.
Is just being honest and transparent and kind of telling people about it, right? And that holds you accountable because someone's going to remember what you said, right? I had a conversation with a girlfriend a couple weeks ago and I'm like, okay, here's what I want to work on. Let's talk about it. Give me some ideas. What do you think?
Yeah.
And she rattled some things off and I was like, oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I was like, I need you to hold me accountable for that, right? Like next time we talk, ask me, did I do it?
Yeah.
Right. So not just I'm going to make up in my head that I'm going to do things. It's really important to verbalize it so that you can get, held to the carpet for it.
So what you just said is that you have another accountability partner and you and I need to have a conversation. That's kind of what I heard you say. Everything else was want. Got it. I'm gonna see you after we finish.
It's the same stuff you holding me accountable for. Listen, you'll be happy to know that one of our goals that I worked on it tonight.
Which was?
Words of affirmation. Yes.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Nan, Gangsta E is in the house tonight. I'm sorry you took so long finding our chat tonight, but we were just talking about the secret to showing up every day. And the secret is really being anchored in your why, right? Achieving your goals becomes so much easier when you know why you want to achieve them, when you really, really know why you want to achieve them. So
Yeah.
you guys can jump in on the conversation if there's anything that you wanted to share, or is anything you wanted to ask us tonight about, the secret to showing up every day.
Hey, Gangsta E, good to see you. Hopefully, we'll see you soon in person.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So, it has been a lovely evening for the AQ partners and our inaugural launch as the AQ partners. Amen, Gangsta E. And so that's going to do it for us this evening. The secrets to showing up every day, knowing your why.
Know
Get
your why.
real serious about what that is. It can't be something flimsy, like in the example that I gave of me
Right.
being an author. It can't just be, oh, I think I can write really well. It's not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. Right? Because you can write in your journal and be sad. It's really got to be something transformative, as I said, writing about those lessons or wanting to share those lessons so people don't repeat the mistakes that I've made in the example. I'm not really looking to do that. So
You would be a great writer, though. You know, it's in your future. I'm just saying.
I do know it's in my future. We'll talk
Okay.
about that. We'll talk about that. So good night, everybody. Tasha, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, do we have anything else that we wanted to share with folks tonight?
Yes. You're going to do that, aren't you? You're going to do that. You're going to do that. Yes.
Just
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm terrible about this. You're right. All right. If you want to follow us, please go to our website. It's called theaccountabilityqueens.com.
Yes.
You can follow us on social, on Facebook at The Accountability Queens. And on
Appreciate the likes and the follows.
Appreciate it. Please engage with us. Accountability_queens. Listen, if you're not ready to have us be your accountability coach, that's perfectly fine. You can take our class. It's called Change the Game, right? It's really accessible. You go at your own speed. You go at your own pace. There are 3 courses. You can go to bit.ly/AQ class and you'll see it.
You'll love it.
You will love it.
You, taking the course and giving us your feedback.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, Sharon.
It takes 2 of us, right?
It does. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.